It was supposed to be just another teaser, but one single frame from the trailer changed everything. A wedding dress. A slow, emotional walk down the aisle, and Belly, she wasn't smiling. She wasn't glowing. She looked like she was holding back tears. That one moment sent shockwaves through the fandom because nobody saw this coming. Is this her wedding? Or is she watching someone she loves marry someone else? Either way, it's clear that this isn't just another summer, this is a breaking point. The trailer opens softly, with ocean waves and warm lighting. Then suddenly the camera cuts to a chapel. It's small, intimate, with soft white flowers and golden sunlight spilling in from the windows. People are sitting quietly, there's tension in the air. And then we see Belly. She's dressed beautifully but looks distant, like her heart is somewhere else. Her expression is hard to read, like she's trapped between what she wants and what she's expected to do. As she walks, her hands tremble slightly, and that's when viewers knew, this isn't a dream, this is real. And it's emotional. What's more confusing and heartbreaking is the way the trailer hides who she's walking toward. We never see the groom. That mystery drives the emotion even deeper. Fans are already split down the middle. Some think it's Jeremiah, based on quick flashes of him in a suit. Others believe it's not Belly's wedding at all, but someone else's, maybe a twist involving Stephen or Taylor. But then there's that haunting close-up shot of Conrad. He's sitting alone, watching from a distance, his jaw clenched and his eyes full of something between pain and acceptance. That one look says more than any dialogue ever could. If this is Belly marrying someone else, it might be Conrad's moment of letting go, but the trailer doesn't stop there. It cuts fast between a few key scenes. Laurel looking surprised in the audience, Jeremiah nervously adjusting his cufflinks, Taylor whispering something in Belly's ear, and Belly standing at the altar with tears in her eyes. The trailer plays. A soft piano score underneath it all, which only adds to the sense of sadness and finality. It feels less like a celebration and more like a goodbye. There's also a quick flashback to Belly as a child, running through the same chapel with Susanna, laughing behind her. This tiny memory, placed right before the wedding moment, changes the tone completely. It's not just about who Belly chooses, it's about growing up, leaving childhood behind and letting go of the people and places that once felt like home. The wedding, whether it's Belly's or someone else's, symbolizes the end of an era, and the tears in her eyes, they aren't just about love. They're about loss. The trailer ends on a cliffhanger. The doors of the chapel close. The music stops, and all we hear is a deep breath. Someone, maybe Belly, whispers, "I'm sorry," but to who? That's the question everyone is asking. Is she apologizing to Jeremiah, Conrad, or even to herself? This wedding moment was meant to shock, and it succeeded. It's not just about who ends up with who, it's about what they're willing to let go of, and what they're still afraid to admit. And episode 6 is shaping up to be the most emotional chapter yet. One decision, one promise, and everything changes. Asterisk, it's written all over her face. Belly is torn in ways she's never been before. This isn't just about choosing between two brothers anymore. It's about facing the reality of her past, her present, and the version of herself she's still trying to figure out. The trailer for episode 6 dives deep into that emotional space, revealing Belly in a series of quiet, heartbreaking moments where she's not saying much, but her silence says everything. There's one shot early in the trailer that sets the tone. Belly standing alone on the beach at sunset, clutching that same necklace Conrad once gave her. She rubs her thumb across the pendant like it's a lifeline. Behind her, the waves crash gently, but her body is still, frozen in thought. It's a familiar beach, but everything about the moment feels different. It's no longer a place of comfort, it's a place of confusion. This isn't just where memories live anymore. It's where hard truths are starting to surface. Then comes the series of flashbacks, quick, emotional cuts between past summers and the present. We see young Belly dancing in the kitchen with Susanna. Then we see teenage Belly sneaking glances at Conrad across the pool. And then the more recent memory, Jeremiah holding her hand at a bonfire, both of them laughing, golden light flickering around them. These moments are stitched together like a dream, but they're not peaceful. They feel like a storm inside her head. Who was I then? Who am I now? And more importantly, who do I want to be with? There's a subtle but powerful scene where Belly is looking at herself in the mirror, wearing a bridesmaid dress. She adjusts the strap, then just stares at herself. It's not vanity, it's doubt. You can feel the weight of her thoughts. She's questioning everything. Not just which boy to love, but whether she's strong enough to walk away from one of them and live with that choice. Because no matter what she decides, someone gets hurt. And this time, it's not just about heartbreak, it's about friendship, family, trust, and the possibility of losing something that once felt so permanent. The trailer also gives us one of the most intense lines of dialogue we've heard from Belly so far. In a voiceover, she says, "I used to think love was supposed to feel like fireworks, but sometimes it just feels like drowning." That line echoes as the screen shows her sitting in her childhood bedroom, surrounded by memories, pictures, and summer relics, yet looking like she's never felt more alone. It's a powerful metaphor. The same love that once felt magical now feels overwhelming. She's not running toward a future. She's stuck between two lives, one built on nostalgia and the other on unknowns. Jeremiah's scenes in the trailer show him really trying. He reaches out to her, laughs with her, holds her hand in a way that feels steady. But Belly's smile doesn't fully reach her eyes. It's not that she doesn't care for him, she clearly does. But you can tell she's haunted by unfinished feelings. And that's where Conrad lingers in the background, quiet, distant, watching, still holding on to a piece of her heart. Even if he's not saying it out loud, there's also a dinner scene, one that's brief, but full of tension. Belly sits between the two boys. She's laughing nervously, picking at her food, and the conversation feels forced. Conrad glances over at her and she looks away. Jeremiah tells a story and she laughs, but it sounds practiced, polite. It's like she's performing the version of herself everyone expects her to be, while the real Belly is still caught somewhere else. These tiny, awkward silences speak louder than any fight ever could. The emotional centerpiece of the trailer, though, comes near the end. Belly walks into the Fisher house alone. The light is dim, everything feels still. She looks at the old staircase, the kitchen where Susanna once cooked, the couch where she used to sit between the boys. It's all the same, but none of it feels like home anymore. And that realization hits her like a wave. Her voice cracks in a whisper, "I miss who we used to be." She's not just talking about the boys, she's talking about herself. By the time the trailer fades to black, we realize Belly's journey in episode 6 isn't about finding the right love story. It's about stepping into herself. For the first time, she's not just reacting to the boys around her. She's learning how to listen to her own voice, even when it's shaking. And that might be the hardest, most painful lesson of all. This episode promises to peel back Belly's layers like never before. Behind every look, every flashback, and every unsaid word is a girl trying to grow up without losing the people who helped shape her. And no matter what path she chooses, the cost is high. Because growing up means making peace with the past, and that's never easy when your heart still lives in two places. Sometimes silence hurts more than words. And in the trailer for episode 6, Conrad's silence screams louder than ever. While others are caught up in emotions, decisions, and romance, Conrad seems to be drifting further away, not just from Belly, but from everyone. The camera doesn't follow him with drama or chaos. Instead, it captures him in stillness, isolated, contemplative, and maybe ready to walk away for good. One of the most powerful shots comes midway through the trailer. Conrad is standing alone by the ocean, fully dressed, barefoot in the sand, just staring out at the waves. It's not romantic, it's heartbreaking. The water crashes near his feet, but he doesn't flinch. He's lost in thought, completely unaware of the world around him. And for a character who usually hides behind sarcasm and distance, this quiet surrender feels different, like he's no longer fighting. Like he's accepted that something has ended, even if he still doesn't want to let go. Throughout the trailer, Conrad appears more like a shadow than a participant. He's shown walking behind the group, rarely making eye contact, and avoiding the spaces where Belly is. There's a scene where the whole group is sitting around a fire laughing, sharing stories, and Conrad is just outside the circle. He's physically close but emotionally gone. The camera barely lingers on him, yet the effect is heavy. It's like he's already made the decision to distance himself. Even if he hasn't said it out loud yet, then there's a clip that feels like a punch to the gut. Conrad standing in what used to be Susanna's bedroom, holding an old photo of the three of them, him, Jeremiah, and Belly. His thumb brushes over Belly's face, and then he sets the photo down, face down on the dresser. That one gesture says it all. He's not angry. He's not bitter. He's simply heartbroken. He's trying to put away the past, even if it kills him inside. Fans who followed Conrad since season 1 know this version of him is different. He's always been guarded, but now he's distant in a way that feels final. The trailer gives us one emotional line from him, whispered under his breath as he looks out at the night sky. Maybe I was never the one. It's quiet, it's broken, and it cuts straight to the core of who he is, a boy who loved deeply, but never knew how to show it in the right way, and now fears it's too late. The contrast between him and Jeremiah in the trailer is sharp. While Jeremiah is stepping forward, Conrad is stepping back. While Jeremiah reaches for Belly's hand, Conrad lets his fall to his side. There's a quiet resignation in every move he makes, as if he's watching his greatest fear play out right in front of him and choosing not to fight it anymore. It's not because he doesn't care. It's because he cares too much, and maybe believes he's the one who always brings the pain. There's also a moment where Conrad is talking to Laurel, just the two of them in the kitchen. It's a soft, intimate scene, and although we can't hear the full conversation, we see Laurel place her hand gently on his arm. He looks down, nods slightly, and blinks hard as if holding back tears. Whatever was said, it's clear that someone finally sees his pain. But even with that, Conrad still feels like a boy already halfway out the door, and just before the trailer ends, there's a blink and you'll miss it moment. Conrad packing a small bag into his car trunk alone, no goodbye. No dramatic exit. Just a quiet act of letting go. Whether he's leaving for college, a break, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. He's not just leaving the beach. He's leaving Belly, Jeremiah, and maybe even the version of himself that couldn't find peace. Conrad's journey in episode 6 isn't loud, but it might be the most devastating. It's not about a grand gesture or a final confession. It's about a boy realizing that sometimes love means stepping away and learning how to carry the weight of everything he couldn't say. And maybe, just maybe, it's a goodbye he's been preparing for all along. Asterisk for the first time. Jeremiah isn't just reacting to the people around him, he's leading the moment. In the trailer for episode 6, there's a quiet but undeniable shift. He's not the funny, carefree guy standing in Conrad's shadow anymore. He's not waiting on the sidelines for Belly to come to him. Instead, Jeremiah steps forward, confident and calm, like someone who knows exactly what and who he wants. And this change in him could be the key to unlocking the most emotional episode yet. The trailer shows Jeremiah in a different light from the start. He's more composed, more intentional. There's a scene where he's helping decorate a venue, maybe for the wedding, and instead of cracking jokes or trying to ease tension, he's focused. He ties a ribbon, takes a step back, and smiles slightly when Belly walks in. That smile isn't playful. It's steady. There's no doubt in his eyes. It's as if he's made peace with his past heartbreak and is ready to be the one who stays. No matter what, throughout the trailer, there are little moments that show how much Jeremiah has grown. We see him checking in on Laurel, sharing a quiet chat with Steven, and being fully present not just for Belly but for everyone. This isn't just a guy in love. It's someone who's building something real, something lasting. And in contrast to Conrad's emotional retreat, Jeremiah feels like a safe place, a grounded choice in the middle of all the chaos. But that doesn't mean he's not scared. There's a clip of Jeremiah sitting alone in the beach house living room, twirling a ring box in his hand. He's nervous and you can see it. But it's not the fear of being rejected, it's the fear of not being enough. After seasons of being seen as the backup plan, Jeremiah is finally stepping into the possibility that he might be the one Belly chooses. And that kind of hope, after everything, is almost too much to carry. One of the most striking parts of the trailer is the dance scene. Soft lights, an empty floor, and Belly and Jeremiah dancing slowly. She rests her head on his chest, and for a moment, everything looks simple. Safe, he whispers something in her ear. We don't hear what, but her. Smile softens and her eyes close. It's not firework love. It's warm, slow-burning love. The kind that takes time to grow. And maybe that's exactly what Belly needs. Jeremiah's presence in this trailer also brings a sense of healing. He's shown comforting Taylor after what looks like a difficult conversation, laughing with Stephen and carrying a box of old memories out of Susanna's room. It's symbolic. He's not just part of Belly's story. He's trying to preserve the entire family's bond. He's stepping into a role that's bigger than romance. He's becoming the emotional glue holding this group together when everything else is starting to fall apart. Still, there are flickers of doubt. A quiet moment where Jeremiah catches Belly looking at Conrad from across the yard. His face tightens just slightly. He doesn't say anything, doesn't interrupt, but you can feel the shift. He knows the past isn't completely gone. But this time, instead of pulling back or lashing out, Jeremiah does something unexpected. He stays. He stays with his heart open, fully aware of the risk. This version of Jeremiah is no longer asking to be chosen. He's showing Belly what life with him could actually feel like: secure, honest, and full of joy even in pain. And while that might not have the spark of old summer romance, it might just be the kind of love that lasts beyond the season. As the trailer closes, we see him standing at the chapel doors, adjusting his tie and breathing deeply. It's unclear whether he's the groom or just someone watching someone else's story unfold, but either way, he's ready. Ready to be seen, ready to be enough. And for the first time, it looks like Jeremiah Fisher isn't waiting in the wings anymore. He's finally stepped into the spotlight, and he's not afraid of what happens next.